Our next session is an innovation talk on revolutionizing RegTech using AI presented by Paritosh Vatsal Tripathi, entrepreneur in residence, Signzy. Over to you, Paritosh.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, FinTech Festival India, for inviting us here. It is a privilege and honor to be here. I'll not take much time. I'll get started out here. So what Signzy is all about, correct? So I'll start the whole context in a way wherein we can understand what we do, and how we get things done, correct? So I'll start with a quick introduction of the company. We've started our journey almost 5 years back, and we have a vision, correct? And the vision for our co-founders was very simple and very easy, correct? They wanted to solve KYC and KYB and onboarding using AI so that the financial product delivery or the financial inclusion seems a very normal sort of a product offering for an individual. So I think you guys can relate the way Amazon and Walmart in India have revolutionized the way e-commerce is happening, correct? So I'll try to give an analogy here. The way you order something from Flipkart or Amazon, correct? You don't feel any sort of hassle, or you don't feel like that you're ordering a physical product, because the product that you're ordering is via platform. Obviously, the product that you're getting is a physical product, but the whole supply chain, the whole delivery, the whole experience on the platform is digital, correct? And obviously, somebody is physically delivering that product to you, correct, at your doorstep. Still, you don't feel like there is something physical has happened. I think that's what revolutionizing means, correct? E-commerce has done for it. Similarly, Signzy wants to become, and we are, I could say we are halfway there in India. We have kind of solved almost all the big problems in India wherein KYC is important. So we started our journey almost, as I mentioned earlier, 7 years back. Currently, we are working in 175 countries, 4 different regions. In India, we are a market leader. We already have more than 75% of market share in a lot of use cases. We're also working in Middle East. We're also working in US. Last year, we've onboarded almost 25 million of customers for different products. At the same time, we've almost onboarded 1 million merchants, correct? And while doing all these things, correct, how we have become so, I would say, important threshold in the organization, correct, or in the financial ecosystem. We are doing 90% reduction of TAT during the onboarding, while you're applying for credit card, POS machine, saving accounts, we are the company who is onboarding you on behalf of the bank, correct? At the same time, we have lowered on the cost by 80% for our financial institutions partner. During the journey, we've been very privileged and honored to work with a lot of stakeholders. We've got privileged to work with Amazon, Google, and other sort of partners. They've kind of mentored us. They've given us opportunity. They've given us a lot of recognition on our AI capabilities, because using AI, we have kind of transformed the way it has been doing in past, correct? At the same time, we also have a strategic partner like MasterCard, Microsoft, and FIS. MasterCard is just not a strategic partner here. They're also a strategic investor in our company. Let me get started with a quick let me get started with the problem statement that we have seen, correct? If you see the RegTech space, correct, which is basically solving for all the financial services sector, correct? The biggest problem that we have seen and that we have identified is identity fraud, correct? And I think this is the best time to talk about it, correct? In the current COVID scenario wherein you're not going to a bank, neither somebody coming to your doorstep, correct? How you can validate yourself in that sort of a DIY journey or a remote onboarding journey, correct? So identity fraud is the biggest problem that is there, correct? At the same time, a lot of banks struggles to use too many solutions, too many partners for one sort of a use case, correct? That is also one of the problem statements that we have seen and that we have solved for. The third problem that we have seen is high customer drop-off, correct? I think everyone out here can relate, correct? While we have applied for first saving accounts, credit card, the kind of friction that we have seen, correct? That's what we are solving for. At the same time, the fourth problem, which is also we all can relate, is high turnaround time, correct? To get a financial product, unlike e-commerce product, you need to wait for a decent amount of time. So how we are doing it, correct? So yeah, I think numbers speaks for themselves and data speaks for themselves. Last year, and I would say these data speaks for themselves, that last year we've onboarded on almost 1.5 billion customers for different use cases. When I'm saying use cases, we onboard customer which is an individual onboarding journey wherein a credit card, prepaid card, saving accounts, or a mutual fund and SIP you can get from your financial partner, and we are the company using AI onboarding you in less than a day, correct? At the same time, we've also been doing a lot of things in business onboarding for a current account opening, for a POS machine terminals, for SME lending, and so on and so forth, correct? So the number that you're seeing is only possible at India level because of the population that we have and the amount of hunger that we have for financial inclusion, correct? At the same time, at Signzy, we have ensured that we are leveraging AI at each and every step so that we can cater to these sort of use cases and volumes every day, correct? So how we have solved this problem, correct? So let's understand what we have created at Signzy, correct? The first thing that we have created is in India, across every ID cards, we have our own OCR, which is proprietary. I'd like to add here, since there's a lot of hue and cries happening on data localization, correct? I think we've been very clear at day one, while we started our journey, that we want to create our own OCR engines, our own image forensic, video forensic engine. We don't want to depend upon any global company for partnering with them, correct? Hence, we have invested almost 60% of our time and effort and money in ensuring that we are creating in-house proprietary AI capability. So the capability like OCR of all the Indian IDs, either it's individual or a business, all the documents, image forensic, video forensic, ensuring these IDs are not tampered, they have not been photoshopped, these IDs seems genuine, correct? At the same time, video KYC, we understand who is the person who is getting onboarded, along with the other revolutionary product that we have, like no-code AI builder, correct? Being a global company, we have a mandate to solve the problem, not just for India, globally, correct? Hence, what we have created is for every use case that I'm talking about here, correct? Either it's individual onboarding, either it's a credit card or it's SME lending, correct? We have our own no-code AI platform wherein you can design your journey and you can go live with us in less than a day, correct? And that's what revolutionary is all about, correct? Solving these things in India, trust me, it's not easy, and that's why we have not just done in India, we are now doing it globally in 2 different regions. We also have our own proprietary AI ML engine, wherein we can learn and we can see any ID and we can train them and we can start reading them. So I think few things first, how we are creating that impact for our business partners, correct? So currently we are working with more than 175% financial institutions. In India, mainly we are working with almost every bank. We are working on both the side, retail side and asset side. We are also catering to a lot of financial institutions on insurance side, on AMC side, on mutual fund side, correct? While doing all these implementation using our AI technology for solving KYC and KYB, using AI, we've got 3 things very clear, correct? We have reduced their cost by 80%. Whatever they are paying earlier, whatever amount their time spending and cost they're spending, we have lowered it down by 80%. At the same time, I think what really matters, the onboarding time has reduced by 90x, correct? At the same time, the sales, correct? The person who is acquiring those customers on ground, their bandwidth has got free, correct? Now they can onboard, they can do the sales at least at 3x sort of a time execution. So I think this is the high level sort of a architecture level journey that you can see. How does it work? So if you could see on the front, at the bottom, there is a 3 sort of a way that you can get onboarded, either from your smartphone, via browser, or via third-party social media links, correct? So that's why we are an omni-channel platform. Doesn't matter customer is getting acquired or onboarded for a KYC at any sort of platform. Using our AI, we do your identity fraud checks. We'll ensure that your data is matching across all the databases, across all the images that has been uploaded. We'll do a fraud check. We kind of do more than 210 sort of a data verification point on an individual or on a SME, correct? Wherein we get to know that is this person is saying, whatsoever he's saying, can we onboard and underwrite him or not? I think the important thing to mention here is what we have done via AI, correct? Using AI, what it used to take almost a week to open up account or to get a financial product, now it is happening in less than an hour or so. So that's the strength. I'll talk about it in depth in next slide. Then obviously all the data that it is getting verified, it can get showcased at the backups, wherein somebody at the backend level can manually see if there are any sort of exception there and they can accept or reject that customer. So I think that's our key strength, correct? And this is what AI does to you. The go-to-market speed is so fast that using our no-code deployment strategy, that we are going live in a lot of regions in less than a day or so, correct? Which is remarkable. Trust me, even we haven't thought of it. We haven't thought of the same sort of a story 3 years back. So using our solution, it's no development effort for you. So for example, it's either you are AMC, insurance, credit card, asset or retail side banker. You can just come to us, do let us know what you want in terms of the business logic. We already have pre-integrated module since we are working with all the banks in India. And similarly in globally, correct? So there's no sort of a development required. There's a one-stop solution. You need not to partner with multiple players. We'll be a sort of a marketplace for you wherein you can have everything in one place. At the same time, we have a very fast go-to-market wherein you can go live, as I mentioned earlier, in less than a day or so for a lot of APIs and services, AI services. I'll quickly talk about the value and impact that we are creating with one of the largest remittance company in UAE. We've gone live with them in almost 3-4 different regions in Middle East in less than 2 or 3 months, correct? And all 3 parts are different, correct? So that's what we have done there with them. And that's sort of a scalability that our AI solutions provide for any sort of a KYC or onboarding use cases. Let me go to the next slide. So I think what distinguishes us as a company, as a partner across the globe, I could say, not just in India, I think the speed of execution, correct? Almost all 98% of our API is deployable in less than 24 hours. So for example, if you want to take any AI services, any workflow builder for your use case, for your problem statement, correct, wherein you're losing out your customer, correct, you can get it done in less than 24 hours. In case you want to leverage Signzy in end-to-end sort of offering, it will take almost less than 3 weeks for you to go live with us. When I'm saying end-to-end, obviously it comprises of the front-end AI rule-based middle engine, along with the AI enabled dashboard wherein you can accept and reject customer in very automated way. So rather than me talking about much, let's see how does it work, correct? So this is the way customers gets on a platform. We tell them that, hey, these are the services that you need to have. They need to upload an ID card. We understand 2 things about the ID card. This seems like a PAN card. At the bottom you could see, using AI, we pre-populate all the data. We also check the authenticity of the document at the background, that this image has not been photoshopped since we are doing remote onboarding here. Similarly, for the next ID card, we do the image quality check, forgery check, and then we see that this ID card seems genuine. We pre-populate all the data. If you could see, system understand that this is the front end of the ID card and this is the back side of the ID card. So we understand the template so that you can eliminate the garbage data problem also. Your customer can't upload anything, correct? They can only upload the right documents there. We'll take the consent from the customer as soon as we got the proof of identity and proof of address here. The next step is in the remote onboarding, which is a great sort of traction for us. We do a video verification wherein customer need to do some gesture and read out an OTP so that we can verify that this guy seems real. At backend, we do a lot of AI check, which happens in real time. And then you need to sign this contract, correct, which can be signed via Aadhaar e-sign or using other e-signing protocols that we have at Signzy. I think all these things can happen in less than 1 minute, so your customer is done. The same journey can be seen at the backend, correct? So our AI engine has given you a report that how does this customer look like, and now you can set your threshold. You could see everything seems green. So we've divided every parameter in 3 formats. Either it's a green, either it's an amber, which is uncertain, or it's a risky as a red. If you could see everything seems green, which means this ID card seems fine, the data which has been pre-populated seems fine, and we can good to go. Similarly, all the AML CFT and the background check seems fine about this customer. And then this is a forensic, correct, wherein you could see the data on the ID card is matching with the data on the data that we have recorded during the video. This guy seems real. There's no pre-recorded risk. That he's not posing us pre-recorded video, and the ID and everything seems fine. Similarly, we have a contract which consolidate all the information that is required for a banker or for a financial institution to take a decision on that. So yeah, everything is done in less than 5 minutes. What else a financial institution want from us, correct? So that's what we are doing at scale at Signzy now. Let me talk about the data points and the implementation that we have done in India and globally. One of the largest sort of implementation that we have done with mSwipe, one of the largest acquirer in India in POS segment and merchant payment system. We've onboarded almost 1.1 million merchants for them in a year or so while going live with them. At the same time, we have enabled more than 650,000 merchants with only mSwipe. And trust me, it's totally revolutionizing the way we have done it. Earlier, it used to take them a week to onboard a merchant. Using Signzy's onboarding solution, it was possible in less than 30 minutes. The numbers speak for themselves. We have seen few remarkable numbers out here. We could see that TAT has reduced by 144x. We have seen the onboarding has gone by 6x, and we have reduced things by 50%. Similarly, one of the, I think, first implementation that we have done in India is one of the largest bank in India, State Bank of India. I think that's the true AI innovation that a RegTech company in India or globally can say, correct? We've been, the kind of numbers that you see, it's a remarkable, correct? We are catering to more than 420 million of customers. The sort of penetration that we have with SBI is around 24,000 branches, wherein what we have done is using AI, we are automating the branch, correct? Whenever a person goes in a branch applying for a saving accounts via its handwritten form, correct? Nothing is happening manually now. As soon as using Signzy's solution, there is a AI-enabled scanner wherein you can put that form. It understands this seems like a PAN card, it seems like Aadhaar. It segregate and bucket into the different sort of a segment, and it push all the data to CKYC. So I think that's about us, correct? These are the few marquee customers that we have, as I mentioned earlier, correct? We are working with almost every customer in India. Names like SDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, State Bank of India. Almost we are working with all the top 8 to 10 banks in India in private sector and similarly in private, PSU sector, correct? We also have a large customers which are global in nature like Stripe, First Data, Amazon, and Experian. So I'd like to sum up this whole sort of a presentation. I think these sort of implementation could have not been possible without having a great founders. If you could see the founder list, we have Ankit, Arpit, and Ankur. They've been leading the company from the front. We also have a great leadership now. We have almost more than 8 leaders who's kind of leading from the different departments and ensuring we are catering to global customers. We have 3 offices now in India, one in Pune, one in Mumbai, and one is our AI office, Bangalore. We will also have an office in Dubai wherein we are catering to Middle East. Similarly, we also have our headquarters now coming up in New York, which is already live, and we are solving a lot of problems in US via that office. We have few investors with whom we are working. MasterCard is one of the strategic investors who has invested in our company along with Kalari Capitals, Arkham Ventures, and Vertex and Stellaris. We are privileged to have their sort of guidance, and that's what we are doing at Signzy. I'll be more than happy to take your questions if you have any. We'll be more than happy. It would be great if you can reach out to us if you have any sort of a requirement, if you think that we can solve something remarkably great for you too.